What's happening? We're back for another live stream, and I'm, as Brandon has stated in the comments, because yeah, that's right, I'm sitting here reading comments the whole time. I'm nervously ticking down the seconds until I'm live in front of you guys. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. So fun week. So I will answer Richard right now. Good evening, sir. Outside of doing the Hitachi trip, I have been, the honest brutal truth is I've been editing Hudig footage. So we have the Hudig review 90% of the way dialed in. So I'm going to finish that out this week, and I will send that over to Hudig for their approval, just as far as making sure that we are accurate with all of our facts, that we didn't say anything that wasn't factually accurate about the machine. And then once we get the okay from them, that will be going live. So I'm hoping the following week we will post that equipment review. So that's really been my life in a nutshell. It is finally getting dry enough in Michigan here. We have had a crap load of rain that we are about to go drop the FAE head that we have, like, no joke, we've had this head for a month and a half now and haven't really had a chance to put it out and test it because it's been so effing wet here in Michigan. So we're about to do that this week. And so that is on the agenda. But yes, the Hudig has been the big one. And then as Richard stated, I flew down on Thursday to Atlanta to go test out Hitachi's brand new, like, I was the first American non-Hitachi employee to run this machine. It was pretty exciting. It is the brand new Dash 6 210 that Hitachi is bringing to the US in North America. And so yeah, it was really cool trip. Got to fly down. It was a very quick trip. I flew down Thursday, landed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I took off from Atlanta to come home Friday afternoon at 4. So it was a very quick pop in, pop out trip. But it was really cool to be able to get that experience, to be able to hang out with not only just Hitachi themselves, but they had 4 of their engineering staff there on standby answering questions for me. Really cool experience. So if anyone from Hitachi ends up watching this, I am very grateful for you guys having me out. I really do appreciate the opportunity there. So yeah, that's what this week has been. It's been a busy week. And we have Brandon Culpepper, who's just eating pie, apparently. So, you know, if Brandon tries to give anyone crap about his day, we've got it in writing here that Brandon's just sitting around eating pie. So there you go. Kingsman, I don't know where you're talking about here or there, but we have excavator jobs all over the place. So you'll have to expound a bit more on what you're looking for. All right, we need a tasty beverage. Ah, that was good. That was good. Good. All right, what do we got here? Let's get something done efficiently before the try guys show up. I don't know what you're wanting to get done, Colton. I mean, I don't know. You give us a place we need to go, a thing we need to do, and we will accomplish that thing. But as of right now, I don't know what we're supposed to be accomplishing. So we need direction, sir. Let's see here. Brian Hype. There you go. What's happening, Jackson? Good to see you, man. I bet Brian. Yep, we already addressed that. We got Zenon Watts. What's going on? Unfortunately, I will be here until I feel like it's time to go, so probably till the end. Well, you know what? I don't feel bad for you because this is a freaking awesome live stream, and why wouldn't you be here for the full thing? That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say. We're a little light starting off here, guys. We've only got 14 of us here in the comments, and normally we're like 22 to 25. So call your buddies and tell them to get on here because Brian needs his ego stroked this evening. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's put some effort in, okay? Bomber, what's happening, man? Got a question. What time in the morning do operators usually start? Being a plumber, my start time would change constantly. Is it about the same in the operator world? Most of the time, Bomber, your day in the excavating industry starts around, man, I'm trying to remember now. When I was working at Dan's, which is kind of a large company that's kind of more what you would expect in the industry, I want to say we were supposed to be on site warming the equipment up and greasing by 6:30, and go time was 7, if I remember that correctly. If that isn't it, I'm only off by like a half hour. So, and that's pretty standard, and it stays generally the same. So you'll start there in the springtime, and you'll have those hours until fall time, and then generally your start time will bump back just a little bit in the fall because obviously the days get shorter, and your quit time also moves up as well because of the shorter days. So yeah, that's roughly how that goes. Brandon, it did not come with a vibrator. Although I will say this is their corporate machine that they take around and do all of their product photography, so maybe they just didn't have the vibrator in the seat. I don't know. I didn't ask questions on that because it didn't seem appropriate at the time. Let's see here. Doom. We got Ryan Wagner. What's going on? Good to see ya. Let's see here. Zenon, been playing with my Bandit 2. Oh, that's right. I forgot about your monster chipper. And I just got a GMC top kick with a chip box and a 55-foot lift-all bucket. Man, look at you go. Nice. You need to shoot some pictures over that monster chipper you just got. We got Drew Benford. What's going on? Is this Drew literally right next door? Drew, is that what's going on here? You finally popped on one of my live streams now that you know the channel exists? If so, what's going on, man? Colton, I was talking about the people who will ask questions in the chat. Clear and concise with as few words as possible would be preferable. Yep. Are you wanting my answers as clear and concise as possible? Because I cannot guarantee that, because if we know anything about myself, I can chat for ages. So yes, let's go back. Union or no? Jay, that is a loaded question, my man. I'll give you the same answer I give everybody. I think you should start non-union because you get way better experience, you get that shovel time, then move over to the union once you have all of your basics. My big beef with the union, it has always been my answer when people ask if I should go into the union, especially starting out. My big beef with the union is they don't give you the ground basics like you get when you're working in a company. It's one of those things where they throw you right in the seat, you never get your basics, and then you spend the rest of your career not having a clue how to read a grade rod or how to, set a benchmark or any of those things. Those are all fundamental skills you need to know as an operator, and you just don't get a good enough education through the union, I believe, if you dive straight into it. And so I always recommend guys go hire it in at a small to mid-sized company, get your feet underneath you, get some basic skills down, and then move over into a union job. So anyway, that's where we're at. Let's see here. Where was I at? Brandon, welding is a great tool to learn and have. 100%. It absolutely, and I still can't weld. After all these years of being in the trades, I still have never learned to weld, which it's embarrassing to say out loud, but I'll say it. I'll own it. Here we go. Race Gandalf, what's going on? This will be my 4th week in the industry. So far, I'm loving it. I've already been given seat time and a skid steer and a mini excavator. That's awesome, man. So what kind of jobs are you working on? Tell us a little bit about your situation. That's really exciting, and congratulations. That's really great. That's officially a month. Yeah, play that up, man. It's not your 4th week. You're officially a month deep. Like, at this point, you could almost call yourself a veteran of the industry. There you go. Speaking of grease, thoughts on the Milwaukee grease gun? My bucket truck has 4 trillion zerks, and you have to hit the middle ones from a ladder. I love my Milwaukee. I have owned a Lincoln, hated it. I have a bunch of buddies that own DeWalt's, and I don't have anything against the DeWalt grease guns. I think they're great grease guns, but my experience has been with my Milwaukee, and it has been tried and true. That thing is a tank. I have put it through all sorts of rigors, including bouncing around in the cab with me all day long when I was working out at the airport, and I had to bring my grease gun in with me. The thing is just a tank. It has all of the bells and whistles. So you've got your squirt counter, if you will, where you can dial in how many squirts of grease you want it to pump out, or you can do unlimited. It's got the battery check, you know, the little light on the back of your battery, so you can check how much battery you got left. I mean, there's just all of the features you could want on a grease gun are on that Milwaukee. You've got the flashlight, you've got the little LED flashlight. I mean, it's got everything. It is a really, really solid grease gun. So I will 100% recommend to everyone, go buy the Milwaukee. It's awesome. Excuse me, pardon me, the weed cough. Sorry. Oh, so it is my neighbor. So Drew, yes, Drew here in the comments is my next door neighbor. Literally right next door, and we got to chatting, what was it, last week, Drew, or whenever, and told him about the channel, and here he is in the live stream. That's awesome. Thank you for showing up to the live stream, Drew. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Colton, have you ever had a machine quit in the middle of the day? If so, how long before you were going again? If not, you got lucky. When you say quit in the middle of the job, do you mean like a breakdown? Do you mean, because everybody's had a breakdown in the middle of the day, and multiple machines, multiple times, multiple circumstances? Yes, 100%. Shoot, when I was running the concrete breaker, that was such a brutal machine. It would tear itself apart, and so literally 1 to 2 times a week I would be dead in the water and sitting around waiting for a mechanic to come out, and generally I could already tell the mechanic which parts to bring with them because it was the same sort of stuff that would break every time. And so I had a very good idea of what they needed to bring, and they would get me going again half the time. So this concrete breaker, the way it was designed is coming off of, I think it had 2 hydraulic pumps going into a small reservoir, pressure tank really, and then off of the pressure tank it would split out to the different cylinders. And that pressure tank, it was a cylinder with flat edges or flat ends, and right there at the weld, at the edges, it would always crack and start spraying hydraulic oil. They would have to bring the grinder out, they would grind it all the way down and have to re-weld the whole thing so that it would stop leaking. So yeah, everybody's had the experience of machines going down in the middle of the day and having a blast trying to figure that out. So tell me an email and I will send you the pictures. contact@dieselandironproductions.com. If you pay attention, right down here, it should pop up here in just a second. And in fact, here it comes. You ready for it? Boom! Right on time, as if I planned it. contact@dieselandironproductions.com is where you can shoot me over those lovely photos, and if you will also include your social media handles, I will absolutely shout you out when we post those pictures on the Diesel and Iron Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, blah 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 blah, you know, all my social media platforms. Anyway, let's see here. Where are we at? The questions themselves. Okay, I agree, Colton. Let's keep the questions short and concise. Good. I have Yellowstone liqueur in my glass. There you go. I am drinking, so this is my tried and true monkey shoulder. I mean, you know, every once in a while I'll switch it up, but that's my tried and true right there. It's just freaking good. It's hard to beat for the price, and it's really, really nice scotch. It's good scotch. You know what's even better is when you make the scotch go into your face hole. So it generally tastes better anyway. All right, Zenon's gone to take some pictures of his chipper. We're all awesome. I can barely strike an arc with a stick welder. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Colton. I basically weld the rod to the actual thing I'm trying to weld, and that's the extent of my welding experience. And then I have people yelling at me to let it, you know, get the clamp off of it. Get the clamp off of it. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys gave me this thing and told me to put it to the metal. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's the extent of my welding experience. Andy 410, what's going on? I don't know that you have been in here. I don't recognize the name. Howdy was just curious, but by the way, thanks for showing up. That's where I was going with that statement. Just curious what your thoughts are on this idea. I work a great job, but don't run equipment as much as I would like, so I was thinking about getting a job running Equinox on weekends, 1 to 2 week. I don't know what Equinox is, unless you're talking about like moonlighting, if that's a term, like moonlighting. What I would say, in all honesty, Andy, I don't know what your current situation is, but really the job market is ripe right now that if you wanted to hop to a different position, you could absolutely negotiate yourself probably a pay increase and get yourself into a position where you're going to run more equipment. So, pardon me, everyone. And by the way, thank you guys for actually listening to me. We are up to 25 people in the comments, so you guys clearly did your job, went and contacted all of your friends, and they all showed up. So well done, ladies and gentlemen, well done. Anyway, so Andy, all that to say, I would actually say go apply around and find you a position where they're going to put you in the seat more. If you've got the experience to justify it, that's one thing that I don't know about your comment there, is what your experience level is. But if you've got the experience to justify going to some of these other employers and requesting seat time, do it like that. Go find a new job entirely. Instead of adding more to your workload, just go find someone that'll put you in the seat. J-Mott, right on. I can respect that point of view. I've been union for 7 years now, never had any shovel time or ground time like you're saying. I try to take the time to understand and learn the groundwork. Yeah, Jay, it's not anything. So there's three things I have against the union. The first one we already discussed. It's the fact that they don't really give you that shovel time. The second thing that I don't like about the union is the politics and the, if you're not in our special club, we're absolutely just not going to do anything with you. It drives me nuts. I understand the idea behind that to a degree, but it goes so far over the top of it's not about you're not working with us as a team. It's not about that. That's what bothers me about it, is it's couched that way. That if you're not in the union, then you're not working for the collective good. That's the way it's always sold to you. In reality, it's just stupid politics, and that's what makes me angry about the union, is there's a lot of stupid politics. And one of the things that goes into that is here we are with this giant worker shortage in the trades, and what is the union doing to increase the number of apprentices it brings in? I don't know about you guys where you're at, but here in Michigan, I haven't seen a tremendous uptick in the number of apprentices they're taking into the apprenticeship program. We still have guys that are talking about being 2 years out on a wait list to get into the apprenticeship when we have this giant vacuum needing to be filled with new operators. That drives me up the walls. So that's the second reason I have a beef with the union. The third reason I have the beef with the union and it's not even a beef, I shouldn't even use those terms. The third thing about the union that I really don't like, and this is ultimately part of the reason I pulled out of the union when I stopped operating full-time in a union company, is you don't have any way to control your retirement. It all goes into the pension fund, and we all know that people have dipped their hand into that cookie jar multiple times. There's nothing to protect you. I have my wife's family, her grandfather, UAW, his entire life, and then we watched his retirement dry up, and he had no control over that. It's not like you can pull that out and go shuffle it over to a 401k. It's got to be in the union fund, and I'm not okay with that. I want control over my retirement. So those are my three kind of things with the union. But overall, the union has been tremendous for workers' rights. It's been tremendous for wages. It's been tremendous for benefits. So I will not argue against the benefits of the union. Oh, look at me. I'm getting behind in the comments. My God, I got to shorten it up. Let's see here. John, opinions on renting, leasing, or buying equipment. Well, I tell you right now, in this market, I would absolutely buy equipment or lease equipment, because if you are renting, you're probably not going to have equipment. That's just the sad truth of where we're at. That being said, under normal circumstances, I would say if you're just starting out with your company, go rent. Go get your feet wet. Go get your feet under you so that you have a thorough understanding of what it's like to run a dirt business, because it's very different than most other businesses. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of balls that you're juggling, and to get your feet wet, I always recommend people just, don't worry so much about your margin in the very beginning. Go make sure you know what you're doing and you can do this. And do that with a piece of rental equipment. And in all honesty, do a rent to own. That's a great option. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more, but you'd be paying that already on rent, assuming you just went the rental route. But at the same time, the beauty is, at least, do like a 6 to 8 month rent to own. If anything goes south, you just hand the keys back. You're not in debt. You don't have to get out from under a machine, especially right now. If let's say right now and where we're at, you're going to pay a ridiculous amount for a machine. You're going to wait forever for it to come in. And then heaven forbid you want to get out of that machine, because, realistically, if you order a machine right now, you're not going to see it for a year. If you're lucky enough to get a machine, you're probably going to have that machine for 6 to 12 months before you figure out you don't know what you're doing. And by that time, the economy will have slowed back down. Equipment prices will have come back down, and now you're way underwater in this machine that you now have to offload, versus the rent to own option. Just turn your keys back in, done, no big deal. So long term though, I think it's very beneficial to either, and it's you need to commit to one path or another. I'm not opposed to leasing, I'm not opposed to owning, but you need to pick a path. The people that kind of straddle the line, those are the guys that really struggle. If you're going to commit to doing the lease option, it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. You can get into a new machine so that it's always under warranty. You're constantly cycling into newer machines so that you don't necessarily have some of the downtime and maintenance costs that you do in some of the older equipment. But it's a little more expensive to go the lease route. It's one of those things where you kind of have to play with the numbers. The alternative is you own your own equipment, but I've never been a fan of these guys that go out and go, okay, I'm going to go buy a dirt cheap excavator that's going to be 10 years old and it's going to have 5,000 hours on it. You are setting yourself up for failure because that machine's going to break down. It's absolutely going to have issues. And it's not just the cost of fixing the machine. And that's where most guys getting into the industry really go wrong in their logic. You can't calculate that as just the cost of fixing the machine. You have to calculate that as lost revenue because that machine wasn't running, making you money. And so you're double dipping when that machine's down. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. So that's where I never recommend guys go buy a bunch of beater equipment that's just on its way out and then try to make it. You're setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. Bomber, don't you think if autonomous bulldozer had a failure and drove into a house or something, that would be the end of it? Seems like a lot could go wrong. Yes, but at the same time, I'm fairly confident, Bomber, that they are programming all of this autonomous equipment, that if there are any errors, if there are any sensors that are questionable on the information they're taking in, or they go out, the default for the machine is just going to be to stop. It's not going to continue on blind. So I think that's going to be pretty rare that we have those sort of circumstances. As far as it being the end of it, I don't think it's going to be the end of it. I know that's going to be the thing that makes news and everyone's going to point their fingers and go, oh, I told you it doesn't work. But it's not going to be the end of it. At the end of the day, that is the future of this industry, because I don't foresee the trades really coming back like they were in their heyday, to the point that we're just going to be overflowing with workers, which means the industry has to change and we have to make up for those seats. And the way that we do that is with autonomous equipment. So, so this is the direction the train's moving. It's just how fast is the train going to get there? Oh, Shane, you are late. My God. You are late, sir, but it's all right. We'll cut you slack. Ryan, what's going on? Unfortunately, I can't stick around because I'm visiting family, but figured in our drive. Well, thanks for dropping in and saying hi, Ryan, and go enjoy your family, man. Get off of here. This is not important. This is, you know what this is. It's just us bullshitting all night. But thanks for popping in. Ryan Wagner, Brian, I'm making a career change, and one of the many options is welding. I'm really considering opinions on that. I'm not a welder. We just got through talking about it. I don't have any welding experience, but I know a lot of welders, and you can make a shitload of money right now as a welder. So if you don't mind tedious work and working in really awkward angles and holding your arms up above your head for hours at a time, absolutely go pursue welding. It's a great career path, and you can make a lot of money right now. Let's see here. Brandon. Yep, Brandon just said it too. And yeah, and it's a great skill. Even if you don't go pursue it full time, it is a fantastic skill to have in any of the other trades, just because it plays so well. Just in any of the trades. I mean, you think about pipe fitters, you're always welding. Out here in the dirt world, you're always welding to fix equipment or tack something back together to get you through. They're just, in almost every one of the trades, you can use welding. Colton, know where I can learn how to operate heavy equipment in Arkansas? Yes, go apply at a dirt company and have them hire you and teach you. And that way you don't have to pay for your education. That's the best way to do it. You're going to start on the end of a shovel, accept that that's okay. If you work your ass off, you'll be in that seat within a year. Like I feel like that's a pretty good estimate on time. Within a year, you will be in the seat of a machine. It may not be the dozer or the excavator, but you'll be in the seat of a machine and you'll start working your way up within a year, assuming you got the work ethic to back it up. Let's see here. Drew, you got a welder over there in the shop that you see. You need to teach me how to weld, Drew. Maybe I will start coming over in the evenings and we can we can have some welding lessons, so I won't be retarded when it comes to welding stuff. Andy, we got sorry, equipment damn autocorrect. 1 to 2 nights a week was mainly going to do a bit for extra money. Oh, okay, so there you go. That makes a little more sense. I was having a difficult time there interpreting. It's totally up to you. I would say, like I said, we're in a unique time right now to where operators are in such demand. You don't necessarily need to go and get a second job unless you want to get a second job, because you could very easily apply to a handful of companies and probably land yourself a seat in a piece of equipment tomorrow. Just that's where we're at right now. So if you want the extra money, by all means, but don't feel like that's your only option. Bomber, got my 6G, very, and hate welding. I'm guessing there's a typo in there somewhere. I'm in the plumber and pipe fitters union. Gotcha. Okay. I think I got the gist of that, Bomber. I think. I've been in your live stream a few times, but it's been a while. Okay, sorry, Andy. It's hard to keep up. There's so many people, and every week we get like 5 new faces in here. Let's see here. Politicians is for politicians. I'm not a politician. Exactly, Colton. Exactly. I keep that keep the political shit out of here. Like we're talking about my paycheck and where I work. That's all we're talking about. We don't need to worry about any of the other stuff. Zenon, back. About to send the pictures. Can't get customers to pay for bucket and chipper rentals, but when I buy one and up my day rate, everybody's all over it. I'm liking this. Hey, there you go, man. However you can make your money. Bobby Rabaglia, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. So Shane, smash that, exactly, smash that like button. There's the typical YouTuber response. I will tell you, here we go, Shane, you got me fired off for plugin. Here we go. If you want some of this sweet attire that I'm wearing, head over to dieselandironproductions.com, because you can purchase shirts, sweatshirts, hats. I mean, I've even got yoga pants for guys like Brandon. As we stated last week, Brandon gets his Diesel and Iron yoga pants from dieselandironproductions.com. Go to the store, you can find everything you want. And while you're at it, touring the internets, if you will, you should check out Sweat Grime, the podcast that's geared to the skilled trades. If you're sitting in your cab, bored out of your mind, listening to Alice in Chains for the 5,000th time that day, because that's all the radio station ever plays, and, well, let's face it, Nirvana, because all of their music just came out, so they're still playing the shit out of that. If you're sick of hearing all that, go check out Sweat and Grime on any of your popular podcasting platforms. We're all over the place, guys. Go check us out. And it's hilarious, and we have a good time, and we talk about trade stuff, so you can relate to it. So do it. Boom. There's my plugs. There it is. Yes. Let's see here. Marcus Merks, what's going on, man? Backhoe or excavator controls? Excavator all the way. Come on now. That's not even a real question. Everybody knows real operators use the excavator controls. I'm just kidding. But I do judge a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm allowed to. I feel like I am. John Barry, awesome advice. Thanks. You got it, my man. Let me know if you got any other questions. I don't even remember what your question was specifically. Oh, that's right. Renting, leasing, buying. You're welcome, sir. That's the thing. You get so caught up in responding to the comments, I forget what I'm actually talking about. Let's see here. Excavator on chair controls or John Deere on the wobble sticks. Ooh, I see wobble sticks. I'm out. I'm sorry, but I can't do the wobble sticks. I hate it. I spent that freaking Cat 420 backhoe that we talk about on here all the time that I hate with every bone in my body. It was a wobble stick machine. I don't want to touch a wobble stick machine again in my life. I'm so over wobble sticks. Major Lynch, you work for Suncor and they stopped using autonomous trucks. Really? I'm curious why. That's interesting to me, because I thought autonomous trucks for sure would be the one thing, if anything, that would stick around. That and rollers, I feel like, are the two that are going to get automated first. And if they decide to take automation off of everything else, I feel like rock trucks is what they would continue to have automation on. That's interesting. Excavator with pilot controls, John Deere backhoe, same. You guys are just, come on now, come on. All right, Brandon wants to talk about keys. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's allergies or if it's just weed residue. There we go. There we go. We're hacking her up now. Okay. So Brandon and I had a conversation the other night. If you guys aren't familiar, Brandon Culpepper here, our lovely Brandon Culpepper in the comments, is a new operator in the industry, and he was asking about getting keys on Amazon, and he was looking at individual cat keys and individual deer keys and individual Hitachi keys. If you guys aren't aware, they actually make full key sets. And you can find them all over eBay. You can find them, I guarantee, if you get on Facebook Marketplace, you can find some operator key sets. You want to buy a key set as opposed, my goodness, Brian, I don't know what's going on tonight, guys. I'm so unprofessional this evening. I apologize. It's utterly embarrassing. Anyway, buying individual keys is really expensive. You can do that if you need a key to kind of fill a hole in your keychain, but I always tell guys, go buy a full set of operator keys somewhere or try to scavenge. You know, I'm not encouraging stealing, but I have been in multiple situations where clearly an operator was on a job, left his keys in the machine, and then got transferred to another job. Well, guess what? They're up for grabs, so grab them. That's how I got my second set of keys. But I always recommend guys getting into the industry. You're gonna have a John Deere key. You're actually gonna have two John Deere keys. You're gonna have the John Deere like dozer key, and then you're going to, oh, I'm sorry, nope, I'm sorry, take that back. You have a John Deere tractor key, and you're gonna have a John Deere like excavator key. And the only reason I say get both is because a lot of companies will use the John Deere tractors as broom tractors, and that's not the same key as a John Deere dozer or excavator. Although the new dozers are coming with the touch, you know, the little touch pad, you don't even need a key, but still, it's good to have. Definitely get a cat key, that's a given. Definitely a Komatsu key, that should be a given. Now, when it comes to case equipment, if your employer runs case equipment, you're gonna have to have two keys, because the dozers and the excavators, don't even get me started on my irritation with this, but they take two separate keys. So if you have case equipment on your job site, you're gonna need the dozer key and you're gonna need the excavator key. I want to say Hitachi and John Deere, I don't know about the new machines, but I believe on the old machines they were the same key. Man, I'm trying to think what other key I had. That'll get most of your major manufacturers right there. And I will say, once you get a set of keys, I always recommend you get two sets of keys. The reason I say that is because there's going to be times on a job where you're bouncing between a roller and a dozer, or you're bouncing between a haul truck and an excavator. Instead of having to shut the machine off, go jump in the haul truck, fire it up, take your load, run it back, shut the haul truck off, fire your excavator back up, fill the truck, have two sets of keys, because there will inevitably come a time in your career where you will be required to bounce between two machines. Have two sets of keys so that you're not having to keep your keys with you and shut machines on and off all day long. It drives you nuts. I promise you it will drive you nuts. So so there's your key conversation. Yeah, two sets of keys and get all the major manufacturers, and then hold on to those keys, guard them with your life, because those are a hot commodity. Bobby Rabaglia, my God, he's stepping it up with $15 this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first donation we've had to the channel, I believe, in 2 months, maybe. It's been a while. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. That was super kind. I appreciate that. What was I saying? I was talking about keys. Ah, yes. It's a commodity. In fact, I guarantee you, Bobby Rabaglia would have absolutely taken that $15 back had he known that there was a set of keys over there that he could have for that $15. That's how hot keys are on a job site. So you better believe if you leave them overnight in a piece of equipment, the following morning, most likely they will be gone. So keep an eye on your keys. Hold them close, baby. You don't want to lose them. Anyway, all right, let's go back up here. Let's see here. Bomber, the autonomous. Let's try that again. Bomber. The autonomous freaks me out. I just hope it doesn't come around during my career. Stay tuned, man. It's one of those things where I think it's going to take us all by surprise. It's going to feel like it's creeping, and then it's here. I really feel like that's the way that's going to go in the industry. I don't think it's going to be a slow crawl. I think once they get that technology dialed in, all of your major contractors are going to go out and grab it up, because think about it. We have a huge labor shortage. We cannot find operators. As a contractor, 100%, you know, I'm jumping all over that autonomous equipment. So, let's see here. Colton, I'll bring my own shovel in case the ones they have on hand are rotten wood. There you go. There you go. And that'll go a long way with your employer too. Zenon, pictures are sent. I did include my company Facebook page tag. Honestly, I'd rather not have it tagged in any posts. I will not tag your company. Do you want me to tag your personal account? Let me know, or I won't tag them at all. In fact, I can put your name and I just won't tag you. You tell me how you want that to go down. In fact, so I don't forget, you should probably just email me those details, because I want to get that right for you. Or if you don't want me to share them, I don't have to share them at all, Zenon. You tell me what you're comfortable with. But at the same time, if people share pictures with me, I want to pay it forward and kind of get you some spotlight. Colton, welding as an extra skill in case of emergency is the extent I'll do it. Welding careers are for people who are very flexible and the angles aren't that uncomfortable. Yeah, exactly. Know any realistic simulators for practicing at home? Never know when you might be stuck between jobs for months on end. I don't, man. Honestly, I will say this. If you find one, let me know, because I would love to start practicing greater from the comfort of my home, because I would love to get decent at the new Cat M-Series grader controls with the joysticks. But yes, let's see here. Nick Ukarek, thank you for showing up, Nick. I don't believe I've seen you in here before. Any specific application for the H controls on skids? No, I just like, so I was under the impression when I got in the industry, like that if you go with the SAE controls over the ISO controls, or let me rephrase that, if you go with John Deere controls over Cat controls, because that's the way we like to talk about it, is there an advantage to either pattern? And the answer is no. It's whatever makes you comfortable. Holy hell, Richard Vincent just fired off with $100. Sweet Jesus, Richard, my man, look at you. Thank you. Like, that is Richard, send me your address and I'm going to hook you up with some swag. Sweet Jesus, Richard, that is awesome. Thank you, brother. Shoot me an email with your address and I'm going to send you a couple pieces of swag for that. That is a killer donation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That is a record setter for the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Richard has now raised the bar on this channel to $100 for the top donation. That is freaking slick. Thank you, Richard. Man, poof. Well, I feel like we need to shut this baby down now because it's not going to get any better. But at the same time, I feel like we need to keep it rolling, because who knows where we're going now. Like, let's get competitive, everybody. So thank you again, Richard. It's too kind, man, too kind. So going back to my conversation there, the H controls on skids, there's no advantage or disadvantage to a certain pattern. Really what it boils down to is, what are you comfortable with, and what can you be most productive with. So, but as far as machine functionality, there's no difference. It's just what lever you're having to hit. We got Sebastian. The only halfway decent simulator I know of is Cat, and it's in the thousands. Yeah, that's the problem, is even if you want just the desktop software so that you can run a simulator on your personal computer, you're talking thousands and thousands. Yeah, like, you're probably talking $5,000 to $10,000 if I had to guess, and that's a total guess. And outside of that, you're probably doing like heavy equipment simulator or something off of Steam, which, let's face it, is really not a decent, I mean, it's not a good simulator. It's not realistic at all. So anyway, Shane, so they're pulling the 870G off our job to take it to the Bay Area for a GPS job. I will be off for 2 weeks and then have to train the guy that will run it in my absence. So are you going to the GPS job, Shane, or are they just taking your hoe out from underneath you? Any work boot recommendations? Honestly, I have the most experience with my Red Wings. I will say they are by no means the most comfortable boot I have ever worn, but I will say my Red Wings have held up exceptionally well. Wolverines were far more comfortable. They didn't hold up as well as the Red Wings. I've heard some really good things. Actually, I take that back because my mind just blinked on all the other brands. Those are the two that I have experience with. I do see below that other guys are giving you some recommendations here on boots. So I will say though, generally speaking, if you spend $150+ on a pair of boots, you're generally going to get a pretty good boot for the money. So, but that being said, I may take some of the cash that we've got from donations tonight, and I would like to start doing more reviews on work boots and stuff. I may go swing out and pick up another set of work boots to review this work season. We'll see what happens. Let's see. And Shane makes a good, sorry, I'm reading my comments here, guys. I apologize for going silent there. But yeah, it's kind of on Shane's note. Yes, it's whatever ones really feel comfortable for your feet, because at the end of the day, you're going to be on your feet all day long, assuming you're laboring. If you're operating, it's not as critical just because you're not on your feet all day long, but still, I agree with Colton there. I would absolutely make sure you've got the ladder heel on it, just because you're climbing in and out of equipment all day long, and you want that solid grip on your heel on the steps. You absolutely need either a steel toe or a composite toe. And then absolutely in the excavating world, you want them waterproof. And I would absolutely tell you, don't get anything lower than calf height on the boot. You don't want to go ankle height, because you will 100% step in a puddle one day and fill your boot, and then you get to spend the rest of the day with a giant soggy boot on. So get them waterproof, make sure they're calf height. Let's see here, we got Bobby. So I'm actually reading your comment. It's not much, helps you and the community moving. Appreciate all you do, man. Amazon has tons of full key sets. Just bought 42 keys for $40. There you go. And they have sets from 10 to $100. There you go, Brandon. And thank you again, Bobby. I really do appreciate the contribution. I really do. Sebastian, get master keys too. And great. Yes, I wish I had my keys with me. In fact, give me 2 seconds, guys. Give me 2 seconds. And I'm gonna see if I think I know where my keys are. I'll be right back. Okay, just kidding. I don't know where they are, but we're gonna do something here. Hang on. Master key. Let's see what we got here. Images. Okay, here we go. All right, let me see if I can flip over to the browser. And do I have audio? We've got audio. Okay. All right, so you guys should be able to see my browser here. I'm gonna bump this over, and I know it doesn't look nice, guys. I'm sorry, okay? I'm not gonna take the time to make this look all snazzy and dressy for you, but this is the Cat Master Key that was being referenced. And in fact, we're gonna go to this picture. You can see these two little bump outs right here. These bump outs, that is where when you turn the master key, it locks it so that you can't pull it out. And so the first thing you're gonna do when you buy one of these master keys is you're just gonna take I wouldn't even use a grinder. It doesn't need a grinder to do this. You can do this with just a regular metal file, and you're gonna file this to where it is smooth in line with the forks here. And that will allow you to turn the master on, and then still remove your key from the little slot there. So I always, yeah, that's a great piece of advice. Get you a set of master keys for Cat, and then grind those little nubs off so that you can actually pull them out. Let's see here. Darren, what's going on, man? I know you've been here for a while and I'm just now getting to you, but what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Good evening, everyone. Anyone else get hit with crazy storms? 28 hours with no power and could be another 24. So we got hammered 3 or 4 days ago with some pretty bad storms, and I know there was a pretty decent tornado about 2 hours north of us here. So yeah, it's yeah, we got those storms. Yeah, Shane, that's the thing. If I had my keys, I've had my keys since the very beginning of my career. Most guys have had their keys for their full career, which is all, that's another reason you want to hang on to your keys. They got that nostalgia factor, you know. So anyway, Darren, life is good because I'm watching this from the seat of my new $299. Ooh, look at you. Darren's got him a new $299. Look at that, man. Ooh, nice. I'll buy 3 sets, one for main use, one to balance between two machines, and one in case something happens. That's a great way to do it. That's a great way. Always have a backup set. You can tag my name, Zenon Watts. I can send my Facebook if you want the URL. Yeah, if you don't mind, Zenon, just shoot that over email. So woo, there's that again. Thank you, Richard. Super awesome. Really appreciate the $100 donation. So we've got, let's see here, Bobby, pretty sure the last donation was $10 about a month or so back. 100 is, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's freaking, what a great night. Awesome evening. Let's see here. Shane was supposed to do the GPS job, but the wife is getting a new hip and needs 24-hour care for 2 weeks. Oof, that is not, I mean, good for you for being a good husband. That's what I'm gonna say, because that's not going to be a fun gig, but that is awesome that you're being there for your wife. Bobby, best pair of boots out of the box for me is a Wolverine 6-inch I-90 DuraShock. My second season in soles and boots, haven't worn one bit. Huh, okay. So I got a pair. Now, I will say my pair of Wolverines and the experience I had with them, they were really more hunting boots than they were work boots. They were comfortable as shit, which is why I wore them out on the job site, and they had the Thinsulate, and I want to say it was 1,000 grams or whatever, so they were warm, and my feet get cold, and so those were my winter work boots. And so they did, I want to say they lasted probably 3 or so years before they really started wearing pretty hard. And so they were still, I got, you know, for the price, you still got a good life out of the boot. But my Red Wings have held up substantially better than those Wolverines. But again, just to clarify, those were more hunting boots than they were work boots. So, wedges, definitely buying the 1/8-inch next. Yeah, 1, 2. I don't know what 1, 2 is referencing. That's what she said. Ha! There you go. Let's see here. Hit the like button. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, guys. I've already caught up. We got Evelyn in here. Oh, that's Mrs. Culpepper. Mrs. Culpepper. Or is this just Brandon moonlighting as his wife? It happens. It would. You know what? I'm just going to say this about Brandon. The account name is probably not the only thing that he and his wife share. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. Is it actually your wife, Brandon, or is it you under your wife's account? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know at this point. And we got to pick up. Come on, guys. We got 22 of us in here. We got to pick up the chat speed. I shouldn't be able to catch you guys. I should be like 15 minutes behind on these comments, because now I have to ad lib and I have to I have to be entertaining, and that's not what I signed up for this thing. No one wants me to entertain them. I'm just supposed to sit here and respond to your comments. I am going to talk to you guys a bit about the Hitachi though, because we haven't talked about that yet. So just to reiterate, I went down Thursday this past week to Atlanta, Georgia, and ran the new -6 210 from Hitachi. And to specify why this is special, this is the first 210 released since the Deere Hitachi split. So this is one, holy hell, Dan B. Dan B is raising the ante by $1. So Dan, my man, thank you. You as well, email me. There it is right there. contact@dieselandironproductions.com. I want you and Richard both to email me so that I can send you guys a couple pieces of swag. I mean, that is killer donations. I cannot tell you guys enough how much I appreciate that. This is To give you a little peek behind the scenes of the channel here, I am right on the verge of upgrading a couple pieces of camera equipment that is very, very expensive. So this is material, like you guys are actually putting a dent in the upgrade bill. So I really, really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. So anyway, man, you guys getting me distracted with the money giveaway here. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, the Hitachi. So the Dash 6, this is the first machine that Hitachi's releasing that is full on Hitachi. It is no longer part of the Deere. And so one of the things that they have done with the 210 is it actually has 3 hydraulic pumps on it, as opposed to the traditional 2 hydraulic pumps you see on an excavator. And so this machine is snappy. Now, where they kind of did themselves in a little bit is they made the thing so dang quiet. And now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect, and I've had a chance to watch my footage, because I actually did take footage of me running the machine for the review. And it's not a review, I should specify. This is for the dirt that I was down there, and this is going to be talked about on the dirt. So I was taking footage for the dirt. Once I look back at my footage, it was an exceptionally fast machine, but it didn't feel that fast. And I think it's a combination of how quiet the motor was, and it was a pretty dang smooth machine. So I was a little underwhelmed while I was on site, just because I was expecting it to just be snapping me and whipping me all over the cab with how fast it was. But I think now that I've had a chance to kind of review my footage and actually see how fast I was moving, I really think it was more of a mental thing. It was so freaking quiet in that cab, it didn't feel like I was moving that fast. But it was, I tell you, the thing that impressed me more than anything about that new Hitachi is the swing power. So when you're just kind of, you know how we shuffle piles side to side with the boom and stick. It had about the same amount of swing power in those circumstances. So it bogged and stopped swinging about where you would expect another excavator to bog and stop swinging when you were moving dirt around side to side. What blew my mind though is I got the machine on a little bit of a slope, and the area that I was testing the machine on, we had a big old pile of logs and from the land clear, and there was some stumps, and there was one stump in particular that was a mama, and it was totally caked with dirt. I mean, this sucker was, I mean, it was heavy. It wasn't tipping the machine heavy, but you could tell you were getting a little light. It was that heavy. And I picked that thing up and left my stick about halfway out, and I turned all the way downhill, and then I just cranked my swing lever all the way over to see how fast, and it didn't even, I shit you not, I'm not exaggerating, it did not feel like I had anything on the bucket. Like, it blew. I actually did it 2 or 3 times just to confirm that it was going to perform that way every time. The swing power on that machine was nuts. So ultimately very, very impressed with the new Hitachi. So if you get a chance to test out one of the Hitachis, or possibly look into buying one of the new Hitachis, I would say absolutely look into them. That's a serious machine. Let's see here. Oh, so it is Brandon's wife. Well, I apologize for saying something that was maybe slightly insulting when it was really directed at your husband. So thank you for showing up to my live stream. I appreciate it. If there was one piece of equipment that couldn't be automated, what would you suggest, Brian? Oh, yeah. If there was one piece of equipment that couldn't, well, the problem is I don't think that there's any one piece of equipment that would 100% not be able to be automated. I think what it is you're never going to be able to fully automate most of your equipment. So for instance, a dozer, you could 100% automate a dozer for doing finish work. That is, I mean, you're already running GPS half the time anyway when you're doing finish dozing on these big jobs. You don't necessarily need a skilled operator in the seat, as long as you've got LiDAR and radar and all of that stuff that's going to keep you where you need to be, and you have all of the GPS data in the machine. That machine could absolutely go and finish grade a job. But put that dozer on an extreme slope in really bad conditions, or working around curb, or doing something where you've got to do really delicate work, or when you're really hogging and you need to be able to really read the machine to know how you need to control that blade, you're not going to be able to use automation. Similarly, excavators, you can absolutely automate an excavator to trench in a straight line. You could possibly even automate some of your, maybe some of your excavations. I don't know how the machine, I'm trying to think about it from a basement standpoint. From an actual digging the basement and staying on grade, you could 100% automate that. But one of the things where I struggle to see how a machine's going to do automation is planning the dig to know where your spoils are going to go. Again, you're back to the human element of, I've got to make some real-time decisions based on site conditions, and I've got to leave my wall guys a way to access the hole with their concrete trucks. Like, there's so many variables that come in. It would be really difficult to really fully automate any of these machines. You know, even in your rock trucks, I mean, rock trucks are one of the first ones that in my mind I say automate them, absolutely automate them. But there's still going to be instances where you're in a situation where a computer's not going to be able to do it. You need someone in the seat actually telling the truck where to run. So I wish I had a better answer, Bomber, honestly, but I don't. Brandon, so the master key, does it replace the actual key? If no one's answered you yet, Brandon, no. The master key, anytime you hear about anyone, sorry, getting ahead of myself here. Anytime you hear anyone in this industry reference the master, so you'll hear the master switch, you'll hear the master key, the master cutoff, or you will hear it called the master. All of those terms are referencing the battery disconnect. That's all that is. And the reason you do that is because on a lot of these machines, you've got all of these you've got computers all over these newer machines. You've got little pumps like the DEF pump that's pumping DEF back into the DEF tank. You got all of these things. It's really easy, especially because of the fact that everything vibrates like crazy. You got these wires rubbing. It's very easy to have a wire rub through, and now you've got an electric leak and it drains your battery overnight. And that's why construction equipment, if they have a master disconnect, or most of them will have a master disconnect. If they don't have a master disconnect, a lot of the newer machines are coming with automatic battery disconnects. So there is actually, I know Case machines in particular have it. I know there's a couple other manufacturers that do, but I'll reference Case because it's what I'm familiar with. If you look in the back compartment on a Case excavator, where your batteries are, you will see the positive of the battery goes up into this, it's kind of like a little gray box that's, I don't know, it's probably about like that. I'm all over with my dimensions right now, I'm sorry. But there's no switch or anything on it. That is an automatic battery disconnect, and it's on a timer. It automatically takes care of itself. You don't have to do anything with it. It disconnects the battery after X amount of minutes of the machine being off. So, but that's what the master key is for, is because on all of your older CAT equipment, and a lot of the new ones still even, you have a master disconnect, and it takes that weird funky two-pronged key. But the problem is, as soon as you turn it, unless you grind those tabs off, the machine keeps your key. You can't pull it out once it is in the on position. And so you either have to take the master key off of your key ring and then hopefully remember to get it when you leave the machine, or what most of us in the industry do is you turn it on, and because you've ground off those two nubs, you can take your key right back out, hop in the machine, and then use your CAT key to actually turn the machine on. So let's see here. Dan, thank you again. I'm, working my way down here. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. And I appreciate the kind words. I did read your actual comment, and I really do appreciate that. And with all of you guys, I am totally here as a resource. If you guys need anything, I've said it 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. Reach out. The reason I do these live streams is to be approachable. The reason I put my email out there is to be approachable. I'm not here to be a superstar. I'm here to be a resource for people in the industry. That's what this whole thing is about. So please reach out. That is why I'm doing this. Let's see here. Bomber, appreciate the kind words. Really do. Let's see here. Equipment Tourette's. Are we doing Equipment Tourette's again? Is that going to turn into a weekly deal where everyone just shouts out? Okay, everybody shout out Equipment Tourette's for the next 30 seconds. Go. shout out whatever equipment and model number. I will run them down the list like an auctioneer like I did last time, but please let's keep it to about the next 30 seconds here so that we're not spending the rest of the evening with me trying to fire off auctioneer equipment Tourette's. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Let's see here. Darren, which skid steer tracks do you prefer, bar or pad? I don't know. We had these, I think it was Camoplast tracks that had the kind of Z bar going across. I can't remember what the pattern was actually called, and they were pretty dang effective. Like, instead of the big C blocks, I think is what you're talking with the pads. They were really effective tracks. But at the end of the day, I don't have enough experience in a skid with the two separate tracks to really have a legit opinion on that one. I'd have to kind of test them side by side. Let's see here. Brian, when are we going to resume our game again? Which game? Are you talking about equipment Tourette's? Because it looks like there it is. It's firing up. I'll get down there. I got to finish the comments here while you guys continue your equipment Tourette's. So keep at it. You got about 15 more seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Colton, maybe have you been to the Caterpillar dealership in Russellville, Arkansas? They have so many machines that you wonder where to start looking. No, I have not. And they are unique in the industry because everyone else has no machines, because everyone's short on machines right now. Here's what you need in a machine with joysticks. Smooth moves. You start to jerk, you'll break something. Yep, absolutely. Smooth is fast. That is the term for the industry. Smooth is fast. How much more money do you need to get your new camera equipment? You don't want to know that answer, Ernie. Yeah, it's the new camera body that I want that's got the features that I need to kind of start doing more nighttime work and stuff like that is $3,500. So that is where I'm at. So, I mean, now that being said, we're at $200 tonight, so that's a material impact on that bill, but I got a long way to go. What you find is when you get into professional gear, it gets real expensive quick. For instance, the drone I want to upgrade to is about $2,500. The camera body, you know, like I said, is $3,500. We are about to embark upon building a podcast studio, and I need to get camera bodies and lenses, and let's say on the cheaper end of the spectrum, that's probably going to be about $1,500 to $2,500 per camera, and I need about 4 or 5 cameras. You see where I'm going. This stuff gets really expensive really quick. So all that to say, I am grateful for the donations. They are making a material difference in some of those bills. It is awesome that you guys, I mean, you're contributing to the growth of the channel. That's the reality of it. You are contributing. How professional is that? I'm interrupting myself being appreciative of your donations, and I'm interrupting myself with a burp. That's what you get on Diesel and Iron, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get. I'm sorry that I couldn't be better for you. It is what it is. Sebastian, how would you go about taking the next step up into the seat of a grader? I'm comfortable with the controls, but boss seems to want to keep me in a hoe or a dozer. So the way I would approach that, Sebastian, if I was on your job and I had a good rapport with the foreman, is say, look, here's the deal. I want to learn the blade. I want to move into the blade eventually. And I would, and this is again, me personally, you do what you want. Me personally, I would volunteer to stay an extra hour in the evening if I get to be in the blade. You show me where I'm not going to screw anything up, where I can go get my hands underneath me and start playing with some stuff and get comfortable in the machine. I will stay an hour late 3 times a week so that I can get some seat time. And then again, if I can come in on a Saturday and spend 4 hours, get that seat time to where next time the blade operator isn't available, you can jump in the seat, and yeah, you might not be as fast, but at least you're not screwing up grade. You know what you're doing. You can run the machine. You're not gouging. That's the way I would kind of work into that. And then if he still doesn't want to play ball, that's where you go to apply at a different company and find someone who's willing to help you with your long-term goal. Because you got to remember, at the end of the day, your career is about you. It's about what you want to do. It's about what's best for you. And so if you have an employer that is standing in the way of you reaching one of your personal goals, you need to find a different employer. That's kind of where, that's the lay of the land right now. So Let's see here, Colton. How about a sweeper? What level of automation could you get in that? I mean, sweepers, yeah, you could probably level 5. Yes, level 5, Colton, would be the level of automation. I don't know what our gauge is here. I don't know what your scale is, but I'm good with, let's just blanket term level 5 automation on a sweeper. Yes. Heck yeah, automate trucks. Can't get anybody with enough brains to park in the right spot anyway. There you go. Grenade bot. Hi, how much freight do you move? I don't even know what we're referencing here, because this is a channel about construction equipment, Mr. Bot. So try parallel parking a monster truck. I agree with you, by the way. If you want to talk monster trucks, Brandon is all about it. So I don't know how much experience he has in the seat, but anyway, Bomber, sorry to plague you with all the automation questions. Bomber, you don't need to apologize. This is, believe it or not, while we all do sit here and BS on Sunday evenings, the intention of this is to be informational. So don't apologize for asking real questions. Let's see here. It seems like they have to come out with a human intelligent robot to fully take over our jobs. I don't think that will happen. But you've put my worries to rest. So if you want to feel even more rested, Bomber, go on YouTube and search for Equipment World in the search bar, and it should pop right up. And that is where I host the dirt. And I interviewed, man, I want to say it may have even been the episode that came out this last week. I interviewed a guy specifically from Built Robotics. What their company does is they have a bolt-on package. It's a really cool deal. They have a bolt-on package that will go on any excavator and turn it into a trenching robot. It is fully autonomous. And the way it works is you have to have someone that programs that machine. And so they actually have remote vehicle operators. So it's not like they did away with somebody's job. Someone just shuffled jobs. And so now, instead of actually being in the seat, instead now you're programming these excavators with all of the parameters of, you know, depth of the trench and what the slope is and how far it's got to go and all that stuff. And then you've got to obviously kind of monitor that machine to make sure it's doing what you want. All that to say, he was a really good interview because I did go down that road specifically with him, and we are working on getting him on Sweat and Grime so that we can really dive into that. But you don't need to worry about replacement. We are not going to be replaced. At this point, the industry is going to be lucky. So we're in the industry, if you think about it, we need this many operators, and we have this many operators. What autonomous machines are going to do is simply bring it to, now we are here with operators and autonomous machines. We probably still need some operators. If anything, it'll bring them in line. I do not foresee this taking anybody's job in the next 15 or 20 years even. I mean, honestly, that's how far out we are from real autonomy in this industry. So yeah, you don't need to be sweating anything, Bomber. You're in good shape. Evan, what's going on, man? Sorry I'm late to the party. Also, turn off the master when welding on the machine. Hey, yes, thank you. That is a great piece of advice that I always forget about until I actually get in the circumstance. Yes, anytime you go to weld on a piece of equipment, absolutely disconnect the master. That isolates all of the computers and everything from the frame of the machine, so you're not going to worry about frying a computer. Because once you do that, as Evan can probably tell you, you will not do it again. Colton coming out with the jokes. What do you call an excavator with wheels? A parade machine. There you go. Very nice, very nice. All right, here we go. Machine Tourette's, ladies and gentlemen. Machine Tourette's. Whew. Man, you guys. Okay, here we go. We got a Cat 395 JCB backhoe 6015B SK 500 416 John Deere 750. Oh man, I was on a roll too. Hitachi 470, such a beast. D11T Cat 385 Fave 140H, a steel HT 131, a Groundmaster. My goodness, Jackson. Groundmaster 3200, 3300, 60 to 72 inch mower with 24.7 horse or 37.4 horse with a Yanmar engine, tier 4, stage 5 diesel, 2-wheel drive or cross track, 4-wheel drive. What is that? 4-wheel drive, 60 inch, 70 inch width. That is quite a mouthful, Jackson. I'm not going to lie. But speeds from 0 to 15. Wow. Okay. Colton is right. Smooth moves, Played with my bucket truck today. It has the old spool valves, no electronics. If you aren't smooth, you will fly right out of the bucket. 50-foot stick, she gets moving. Oh yeah, I bet so. That'll launch you right out. Wear your parachute. All right, there we go. That was equipment Tourette's. Oh, did I miss a couple? We got the PC490, PC1200. We got the Kubota OX80. We got the Kubota B7500. 644J. Are you out, Richard? It sounds like you're out. My goodness. Hey, thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk at you here on Instagram, I'm sure. All right, I'm auctioned out, guys. I did my best there. I did my best. That was quite a bit. That was a mouthful. My goodness. Okay, so I got to catch back up on where the actual comments are, because I just went down that ridiculous. Honestly, you don't need all that. Okay, so we got Grenade in here. Honestly, you don't need all that fancy camera equipment. Go with low, mid tier and just focus on the content. But you got to understand, Grenade, this is like, the further you go down the wormhole, the further you realize, like, we're gonna have beautiful buttery slow-mo footage in the middle of the night. Like, that's what the beautiful camera equipment gets you. And it's not going to be grainy and crappy and terrible. You're going to have beautiful sound because of the microphones. I mean, it's glorious. It's glorious. And besides, that's what professional YouTubers do. We just continue to get more and more expensive equipment so that we can bitch about not having money. You really don't know how this gig works. I always have to bitch about not having money. That's part of being a YouTuber. Just kidding. Anyway, let's see here. Colton, GoPro with all the accessories and a homemade drone. So that is actually something we are putting some money. In fact, realistically, that's where some of this money is going to go. Is Isaac, my videographer, if you're not familiar with who Isaac is, he's getting ready to build another FPV drone. We've only had a very small snippet of FPV footage so far in all of our stuff. Because his drone it's underpowered and he's got an older GoPro. So we are going to upgrade the GoPro, beef up the FPV drone, and hopefully coming in the next couple of months, we're going to get some really nice FPV drone footage that will start working its way into the channel. Let's see here. Have you parked a monster truck? I have. That's why we crab trucks into spots. There you go. I told you all you had to do is get Brandon involved. He's all about it. The KX80, not the OX80. See, you were auctioneer typing the way I was auctioneer saying the names, and we both got all tongue-tied. That's all it is. The level 1 mentioned is the highest in the car business. Oh, see, Colt, you're dropping terms in here that I just don't know, and I'm ignorant. So cut me some slack. Anyway, and oh my gosh, Andrew. Damn, I'm late as hell. Had a pool party and a barbecue going at the house. Then had to break into my old lady's car. She locked the keys in it. Well, that always makes for a fun evening. But at least you got to see some bikinis. I mean, you can't beat that. That's a great evening. Even if you didn't make it here, that's a great evening. Colton, that's back to back. 2020 Hustler Trim Star at 36-inch Kawasaki FS541. The most innovative walk-behind machine. GoPro is great, but I would just go with the cheaper pre-built DJI because most people don't want to deal with setting up the drone controller. Just make the drone follow your phone, easier to get set up the remote. See, yeah, but then you don't get all the cool footage, guys. You gotta have. It's all about the freehand flying if you want that titty shot. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be able to get right up next to that truck, and you got to be able to track that guy that's in the window, and then you've got to be able to kind of you zoom out by pulling away from the machine and going up at the same time while rotating your camera gimbal down. You can't do that with those cheaper drones. You got to see, it's worth the money. It's worth the money. All right, where are we at? Hydraulic steering makes it okay. So we're still hydraulic. Oh, my bad. By drone controller, I mean the hardware solution that controls the motor, not the controller you're holding in your hands. As far as having it follow your phone, I'd say shop for that function. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. Excavator simulator trading pack, construction simulator, CM Labs. Check it out on YouTube. So CM Labs is one of the ones that, oh, I just lost her name. OE Excavating that I just interviewed about their use of simulators. They are using CM Labs, and it might be that one you're referencing. What's the price tag on that one, Shane? Just out of curiosity. Slow-mo is for the shooting range and science experiments. If you're trying to explain something that helps, for the most part, you don't need it. Colton, have you watched the vlog content, man? We're trying to add sex appeal to the industry to get more people into it. Mondays, Down and Dirties, that's for you, bud. That's the all fast footage. It's the all just getting into the nitty-gritty of how to operate. But my vlogs, that's where we've got to make this industry look really sexy. And you do that at 120 frames a second. 60 frames a second for the most part, but the 120 frames a second on those like beautiful like dump in the bucket while you swing shots. It's so good. You can't give that up. You can't. I'm sorry, but you can't give that up. And then we've got these new review videos. Like you're gonna see the Hoodig review. Man, we slow mode so much of that footage and it looks so good. Oh, it's so good. I can't give it up. I'm hooked on it. And that's just where I'm at. I'm sorry, Colton. And we will agree to disagree on this because I am all about my slow-mo footage and my nice camera gear. I like it. Love it. Anyway. More monster trucks. Yes. Equipment Tourette's, Jackson. That's where it's at. We'll have to, well, I guess we'll just have to make that a weekly thing. And you guys are probably going to have to remind me for the next 3 weeks before I start doing it. Thank you, Colton. I do appreciate the information. I know. I give everybody shit in here. You know. Yeah, you know at this point. Anyway, Lil Mexican, did you join a union? I did. I was in the union for 5.5 years, and then I am no longer in the union because I no longer operate full time, and I didn't want to continue to pay union dues. So that is why I'm no longer in the union, and I wasn't vested to an amount that really made sense for me to pay the union dues for it to be beneficial and pay off in the end. So that's where we're at. So we're talking drone. You haven't seen a vlog in a while, Colton. It's every Wednesday, man. Every Wednesday is the vlog. And I've got Isaac, man, he's editing these together, and it's just smoking good content. By the way, we're only going for another 10 minutes, and it is slowing down. We're down to 18 people in here. We're slowing down. So 10 more minutes, guys. And we're going to be lucky, in all honesty, at the rate we're going to make it 10 minutes, because we've got half of our chat is taken up by monster truck talk right now. So Wednesdays, though, are the vlogs, and we've got some good stuff. I'm telling you, Colton, you may rethink, or I'm sorry, not Colton. It's not Colton. Grenade. You may rethink your slow motion comments after you see some of the vlog footage, because it's sexy. It's so sexy. Anyway. I'm tired, guys. I'm beat. It has literally been a week, especially it doesn't sound like much doing a day trip down to Atlanta, but that was a freaking hike, and that really wears you out doing those quick overnight trips. I flew in, got there at 2 o'clock, and was gone by 4 o'clock the next day. So that is a taxing trip. That was and the day that I ran the machine, I was up at 6:30 in the morning, and I didn't walk into my door until 10:15 that night. So, and that's a layover in Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, it was just ugh. So I'm beat. I don't know about you guys, but I would like to sleep in tomorrow. I doubt it's gonna happen. Anyway, Tourette's would be nice to have if your tick does not mess up. If that was how it happened, if I had that, my life would have gone a lot smoother. We can talk about snakes and G-strings. Brandon, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate the offer for snakes and G-strings. But in all honesty, I'm thinking we might just wrap it up now, because it's really dying down in here, and there hasn't been a whole lot of uptick. So I think we may do that, because I am flipping tired, like legitimately, guys. So thank you for all showing up. Especially thank you for my 3 contributors tonight with the monetary donations. Super awesome. Oh, yeah, there it is, Shane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the CM software, I bet you're, I would imagine you're probably 50 grand into that one, Shane, if I had to guess, because I believe that was one of the ones that OE was using, and their light software, I want to say was, I can't remember if it was 25 or 50 grand. So it's a lot. So anyway, yes, you guys have a great evening as well. Thank you guys for coming out. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, stay tuned, Grenade. In fact, go back to the vlogs, the last couple Wednesdays videos. Go watch them and you'll see that sexy slow-mo. And next week, oh, that's another thing, we're not gonna be here next week, guys. It's holiday weekend. We ain't gonna be here, so no live stream next week. So in 2 weeks, Grenade, I want to hear how you like that sexy slow-mo and how you're sold on it. But all that being said, you guys have a great holiday weekend next week, and have a great evening tonight, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream.